Why is it easy to get carsick when riding an electric car? With the rapid development of electric vehicle platforms, standing on the roadside and waiting for taxis seems to have become history. Electric vehicles not only save a lot of time for everyone's travel, but luckily they can also receive coupons thrown by the platform, which is more affordable than traditional transportation methods. But many friends have discovered a problem. How come you get carsick as soon as you get on an electric car when you are usually doing well? Are the drivers not very skilled and unstable in driving? First of all, the first conclusion is that the susceptibility of electric vehicles to motion sickness is not a psychological effect of people, but rather a common use of new energy electric vehicles in this industry that increases the probability of motion sickness. If autonomous driving is involved, the incidence of motion sickness will increase by 17.24% compared to traditional vehicles. Why do people get carsick? The term used in medicine for motion sickness is motion sickness, which refers to a series of discomfort reactions that occur when the human body is exposed to a stimulating exercise environment, whether you are traveling by car, boat or plane, such as dizziness, fatigue, cold sweat, stomach discomfort, nausea, vomiting, excessive ventilation, etc. Although everyone has a clear understanding of the symptoms of motion sickness, there has always been no clear answer to its causes. Just like scientific explanations for the extinction of dinosaurs, there are only a few hypotheses to explain the physiological mechanisms of motion sickness. The most widely adopted hypothesis among them is the sensory conflict hypothesis. When the motion information perceived by the sensory system contradicts each other, the contradiction between the actual sensory information transmitted by visual, kinesthetic, and positional senses and the sensory information expected by the human body based on past experience can lead to motion sickness. Let's translate it into understandable words. Firstly, human senses are a precise system. People's visual, auditory, sense of balance, and perception of their own body position and movement have learned to cooperate over the long evolutionary process, allowing humans to cope with complex environments. When a person runs, their brain coordinates various senses and effortlessly calculates commands. Eyes, I receive your visual signal, and the flowers and plants around me are left behind and cannot be seen. Ears, I have received your auditory signal, and there is a whirring wind in my ears. Skeletal muscles, I received the nerve signal you sent me. You worked very hard, and are already a bit tired. When these signals are combined, the brain knows that you are running quite fast. The sensory work of modern people today is not significantly different from that of humans in the Stone Age millions of years ago. However, the development of the Industrial Revolution in units of 100 years has brought too many new things to humanity. When people ride cars and boats, some people's brains have already started to chirp and scream. You haven't moved your hands or feet, you're sitting in place, and the eyes that look out the window are sending signals that the scenery is moving, and why? Wow, how could the sense of balance in the inner ear tell me there was shaking? This is impossible. The brain is unable to process information, causing a wave of dizziness. The poor person began to suffer from motion sickness. This is also why many people are less likely to get carsick when driving on their own, because the driver actively controls the car by holding the steering wheel, pedaling the accelerator, and every movement generated by the body is notifying the brain. We are moving, we are really moving. As long as the brain can perceive the correlation between human movements and predict changes in direction, acceleration, and deceleration, it can muddle through and feel that everything is harmonious, making it less prone to developing motion sickness. Why is taking a tram more dizzy than taking a gasoline car? Compared to traditional fuel-powered cars, electric vehicles excel in creating the illusion of "I'm not moving" in the brain. This is also composed of multiple factors stacked together. Electric vehicles have faster acceleration and deceleration. The acceleration performance of 0 to 100 km per hour has always been an important indicator of whether a vehicle is a good one. In this matter, it is not a problem for an electric vehicle priced at $200,000 to surpass a fuel supercar of 4 million in acceleration per 100 kilometers. This comparison itself has a taste of running compared to swimming champions, because pure electric vehicle engines can output maximum torque, measured by the unit of car power output, in one step, while traditional internal combustion engines rely on transmissions, whether manual or automatic, to gradually increase the output of rotational force. Most electric vehicles have systems for kinetic energy recovery when braking, with the aim of saving electricity and energy. But a large portion of car models have a sudden intervention in the kinetic energy recovery system, causing passengers inside the car to feel a sense of dragging and aggravating discomfort. This performance determines that electric vehicles accelerate and brake faster and more suddenly, and those who are closer to 1 foot on the accelerator and 1 foot on the brake use driving techniques to create a stronger sensory mismatch in the brain. Electric vehicles operate quieter. The noise generated by electric vehicle engines during operation is much lighter and less vibration compared to the roar of traditional fuel engines. Therefore, passengers do not anticipate when the vehicle will start and accelerate, nor do they have white noise to distract their attention. In fact, the problem of car sickness caused by being too quiet is also present in some luxury cars with particularly good soundproofing, resulting in the annoyance of wealthy people being spread by technological advancements. In addition to electric vehicles, various virtual reality entertainment devices are also the sources of sensory disturbance and dizziness nowadays. For example, it is rare to hear anyone getting dizzy while cycling, but VR glasses and dynamic cycling are common, and the longer they are exposed to the virtual environment, the more severe the dizziness. Games can be played less or avoided with specific types, but since 2022, the number of new energy vehicles in China has exceeded 10 million. Faced with the trend, car companies are also striving to improve comfort. For example, measures such as expanding the vehicle's field of view, optimizing the braking system and kinetic energy recovery, developing seats with cushioning performance, and improving autonomous driving algorithms are taken. As a passenger, there are several tips to reduce motion sickness when traveling. Either look out of the window more, or close your eyes to refresh your mind, sitting in the front row with a better view. If there is a seat facing backwards, do not take it. Don't play with your phone, don't play with your phone, and don't play with your phone.